So we're back. The man with the horns, Richard Carson Steuart. This is Gottfried Reicher. Now he was Bach's solo trumpeter. He was famous in Leipzig before Bach even showed up. He was the Oberste Staatsmusikus. He was the first Stadtpfeifer from 1719 until he died in 1734. And he was a star. And there's no question that when Bach heard him play, Bach rewrote some of his earlier works to make it more interesting for Gottfried Reicher and more virtuoso for him. Here's this little Einspiel thing. You can hear that in some of my YouTubes, where he's heißt Abblasen. I'm not going to play it on the thing now here, but anyway, this natural trumpet here that he's got in his hand there, this is like his visiting card. He's saying, you know, back then this painting was commissioned by the city alderman of the city for Gottfried Reicher's 60th birthday. So it was a big present for him. And the same painter, Mr. Hausmann, painted Bach later, 17 years later. So this guy was a pretty important and seriously respected person in Leipzig, even before Bach came. His predecessor, Kuhnau, on the Thomas Cantor, also wrote for Bach. For Gottfried Reicher, before Bach even showed up, and wrote some difficult things. But getting back to what I was talking about, Wewanowski and the progression and the possibilities or the probabilities of using the trumpet to catch it for this kind of thing. If I play this G minor sonata I can play it on the C trumpet. Let me just grab something a C trumpet, here we are, modern C trumpet. Put the trumpet to catch it right over here. Here we are. So you get an idea of how that sounds. Now I can bend notes around on the modern trumpet too, which is a lot of jazz uses these bendings of notes quite a lot, and some modern classical music. But to do it on the instrument that it was, I believe, written for, in a consistent way, in a presentable way. Now, of course, I can change the position of the tongue to intonate. I can, because I increase the compression, make the frequency of the note a little higher by raising the tongue. Or bend the note by lowering the tongue, let the note fall down. But there's a point where it breaks, and you can't really control it then. So the idea is to be able to I can hold this note out. Doing that with the tongue position to be able to intonate with the other musicians and the other instruments in the ensemble. I think that people like Wewanowski, and especially somebody as intelligent and successful as Gottfried Reicher wasn't, you know, he was doing what he thought was necessary to be consistent and to present the music with the highest quality possible. I don't think people were playing out of tune, and I don't think they were cracking notes. I think these people worked very hard, and they respected what they were given to play and what their jobs were about. So I don't think there was a lot of compromises going on there. But one of the most difficult things that was written for Gottfried Reicher just after he left, or just after Bach arrived in Leipzig in 1723, was this Kantate, Du sollt Gott dein Herrn lieben. It's Kantate 77. And you can see that it was first performed on the 22nd of August, 1723. Now, the first part is for Tromba di tirarsi. It says that's the instrument with a movable lead pipe, so you can play chorales in this rate. But this is another kettle of fish here. This is not played on a tirarsi. Here's a tirarsi again, it's chorale at the end. So really, just this aria was played on the trompa da caccia. Now, even Ed Tarr didn't know exactly what was thought to be what this C idea here. See, instrumental in the quella, tromba da tirarsi for this part here. But here it just says tromba. For this aria, it just says tromba. Now, I think Bach had a lot of respect for Gottfried Reicher, and I think he just let Gottfried Reicher decide what he wanted to do if he wrote something beautiful like this aria. And I'm going to try to play this aria for you a little bit on this trompa da caccia and compare it also to Wewanowski as the next stage. He writing here in G minor for the natural trumpet in C, and Bach here writing here in D minor for the natural trumpet in C. So, when you come back to the man with the horns, or do we have still a little bit of time? Okay, we still have time. So, this is a lot easier to start because I start just in the sixth overtone, G. And because that B flat, the third of G minor, is a little flatter than one would expect, it gives the intonation for that chord a little bit more character. And it's beautiful just in itself because of its natural character. I'm trying to get better at it, but I need some colleagues that help me to play also in an ensemble, and I need a little bit of interface and a little bit of discussion, and a little bit of suggestions of how I can approach things better. So I'm hoping that my last YouTube that I talked about, having people want to be involved in this project, I've got a colleague in Argentina that'd like to come over, but he's dealing with some other things right now. He also plays the zinc very well. And I have a student in Poland who's interested, one in France. But what I'm really interested in is getting a group of students or colleagues, don't have to be students at all, that are interested in developing the art of playing the clarino trumpet with hand reflection and in ensemble. And to be able to then eventually play Bach cantatas. Now this is the cantata that I'm going to approach right in the next YouTube. This is the aria from Du sollt Gott deine Herren lieben. It starts here on the 13th overtone, which is the A. And so you have to really, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th, yeah. So you have to consider, actually, I have to play the 14th overtone and take it down a little bit to make that A intonate. So you really have good ears to be able to play. It's not just the physicality, the strength of the embouchure or whatever. The hand reflection only works when you know what tone you want to produce in the first place. So. Okay, so Mike, do you have a minute or still? How are we doing for time? Okay. This is the first note that I'm playing. I'm looking for what position the hand has to be so that that A really comes consistently. So that I have also, because the instrument doesn't project straight out, I can coordinate the colors of sound so that it sounds more consistent than if I'm playing straight out and just using a wah-wah or that kind of thing. And I'm going to show you how that works with jazz afterwards. But coming back to this. It's again holding that ninth overtone a half tone lower so that you get this C sharp here to sound consistent. And again, as I said, we're in D minor here, which makes it extremely, well, I would say expressive in itself. The character, ach, es bleibt in meiner Liebe laute Unvollkommenheit. I'm lamenting the fact that in my life I'm still missing the greater aspects of love. Maybe my love of God or for God, but also my love for people, or love of music, or love of how to play the trumpet well. Love is an interesting expression of a person's ability to be involved with something with a great deal of emotional intensity. And so I'm approaching this instrument as natural as possible. And when we come back in the next YouTube, The Man with the Horn, I'm going to play a little bit more of this, and I want Mike actually to show you the music as I'm playing, and then maybe pan out and show you what I'm doing with the hand reflection. The more I practice this, the easier it gets and the more consistent. It's all about using your ear and knowing exactly what resistance that you need. The hand position actually creates resistance, and so the waveform reflects off my hand. It's really it's handmade music, if you could use the expression. So we'll see you again in The Man with the Horn, the next YouTube, and I'm going to play a little bit more of the Tromba da Caccia. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.